2008, the state of Tennessee added new stormwater regulations to Murfreesboro. These regulations were to improve stormwater that runs into storm drains and goes, untreated, directly into the streams and rivers. Stormwater Inspector Paul Haney explains what the regulations are supposed to accomplish.
To regulate the quantity leaving your site and the quality of the water leaving your site. So in terms of quantity, what we're trying to do is keep you from flooding the neighbors downstream. As we keep creating impervious area, we're putting rooftops on and we're putting down asphalt and concrete. We're taking soil that would have normally absorbed rain and now it becomes runoff. As far as quality, as we have streets and pavements, there's oils and things like that in there, and trash and debris, and anything that we can remove before it leaves the site just allows the neighbor to have cleaner water. And as it meets our streams are better. And then even the intake for public water sources, they would have less to treat if we keep our water clean when it's leaving our sites.
We visited some sites around Murfreesboro to show some BMPs, or best maintenance practices, of how stormwater is being handled.
Today we'll go around and look at different facilities, but basically what we'll see is how did they take care of treatment and what different devices did they use to achieve their goals. On this particular one, they actually have underground storage where the water runs into the storm drains and then goes into an underground storage facility, and it can do one of two things. It can either infiltrate into the ground, or it would actually hold a certain amount and release it at a slower rate so that the neighbor next door doesn't get all that water at one time. So on a site like this, what I would be inspecting is to see how much trash is on the parking lot and how much is actually getting into the storage system. As you can look, there's no water or any trash in there, so this is looking pretty good. So if an owner is taking care of his parking lot and keeping the trash from going down there, obviously it costs a lot less to pick it up off the parking lot than if he allowed it to be in the system. Here we're seeing two types of concrete. They're allowing the water to run off the one concrete onto this other, which will allow water to infiltrate through it. So the water will actually run through this concrete and then it will stay there and either infiltrate into the ground or drain out through an underdrain. When we come out here to inspect a site like this, really what we're looking for is just to make sure the concrete's staying clean. We're not seeing sediment build up on the concrete, and that it's still able to allow water to infiltrate. This particular site, they chose to use a bioretention. It takes care of quantity. As you can see, it's kind of in a bowl, but it also takes care of the quality of the water. Nitrogen is one of the #1 pollutants in water. The plants will work on the nitrogen, and it also allows the water to set in here and evaporate. On a bioretention, you really don't want to get much compaction. You want the soil to be loose so that the water is allowed to penetrate back through it. Permeable pavers are great for aesthetics, but they also allow water to infiltrate. They'll have a rock base that is deep, and it will usually have an underdrain in it that allows the water to infiltrate in between the blocks. And as far as maintenance goes, there's not much maintenance required to them other than just keeping the top of it cleaned off. This particular site has a water quality unit. Basically it works as a vortex, so the water will flow in here, and as it spins the water, it'll cause the solids to drop out. What we do to inspect them is we have to pull the lid off, which usually weighs about 300 pounds. So what I'd be looking for here is to see if there's any trash or debris on top of the water. We'll also measure it to see how much sediment's in it, but to see a little bit of trash in there makes us realize that the system's working. That trash would have otherwise washed off into a stream or off the property somewhere. Looking at an area like this, you wouldn't even expect it to be a water quality site. But this ditch right here is actually an infiltration ditch. So what happens is the water runs out here, infiltrates into the ground, goes through some gravel and into a pipe and then on out. So it's kind of filtering the water. The grass is getting a chance to take some of the nitrogen out, and it's kind of a hidden stormwater control measure.